Yeah, this is one of the difference between truncate and delete. You cannot roll back, right? And second option is like why delete is faster. And let me just give you that answer. What happens when
Okay.
you truncate, right?
Yeah.
So when you do a truncate, it drops and recreates the table, right? So now you see why it cannot do a rollback, because when you are doing a truncate, it first drops the table and then it will recreate the table. And what happens in drop table? It just deletes the table, right? So truncate basically executes two commands. This particular commands that we ran, drop table employee, and immediately after this, it will create the table again. So now you see why it is faster, because it's just deleting the table and then recreating it. So from the front end, from as when you look at it, you will see, oh, table is there, nothing happened, data got deleted. But at the background, what happened? The database dropped the table and created the table again for you, which is an empty table. And since it's an empty table, you think, okay, everything got deleted, right? So that is the difference. And this is the reason you cannot roll back, because the table was dropped and recreated. Clear on this part?
Yes.
Right. Everyone else is clear on the difference between delete and truncate?
Yes, Isham.
Yeah.
Right. So the main catch here is when we do truncate, it drops the table and then recreates the table. And since it is a DDL operation, it cannot be rolled back. Right? That's the point you should remember. So fine. So let's move on. So now let's see the DML commands. So we'll start with the insert. Right. So now we have a table, right? And we want to insert some records in this table.
And I have one more doubt, Sindhu.
Mhm.
How system knows whether truncate is a DDL command or TML command?
That's how the database is designed, right? So every language will have a compiler, right? How it
Okay.
knows, like, in C programming, you have this commands, right? You include some header files, then you have some variable declarations, you do some if else, you print some statements. Those are all predefined. So these are all keywords, right? Truncate table
Okay.
is a keyword. So as soon as the compiler will see truncate table, it knows what it has to do. The programs have been written at the backend. Right? So it's all, that's how the compiler works. Parser, compiler, it runs in background, right? It will understand the commands.
Okay.
So the first is insert. It is used to insert data into tables, right? Now let's try to, and there are multiple ways to write an insert statement. Let's see that. So we have a table employees, right? And I believe we have only 3 columns now, which is employee ID, ename, and age, right? So let's insert into, or let me do it like this. Let me write it here itself. Okay, I have some statements here, right? Let's write it again. So syntax is insert into table name, which is employees. Then you need to give this keyword values. So it's like plain English. What we are doing, we are inserting some values in this table. So the syntax is insert into employees values. Now the values should be in order, right, of the columns. So first is employee ID, which is an integer column. So let's see, we give the employee ID 1, right? We say Paul is the first employee name, and age, let's say 23 is the age, right? So this record will be inserted without any issue, right? Because we have 3 columns and we gave the values in order, right? So now let's say somebody else wrote an insert statement. Values, and he gave the name first, employee ID 2, and age is 24. Will this record get inserted in this table?
No.
No.
No, cause order is not in that.
Because employee ID is an integer, right? In place of
R-
integer, we are giving varchar.
Right. So it will not insert because it doesn't understand the order. It cannot automatically order the data. We have to specifically tell him or which thus should go to name, 2 should go to employee ID, and 24 should go to EH. Right? Or else it will just expect the data to be in the same order, which is employee ID, ename, and EH, like it got in the first insert command, and it did not fail because the values were matching the data type it inserted. So when you have, and so in big companies, right, the tables will have hundreds of column, so it's not always possible for you to see the order and then create insert statements, right? So what we do is like we add something like this. We specify the column names here. So we know das is a ename, so you say ename. We know 2 is emp id, you say 2 is emp id, and we know 3 is eh, right? You gave eh. So now you told him like map this value thus to ename, map the value 2 to employee id, and map the value 24 to employee age. Now let's see if this works. See, this worked. Now let's select and see. Select, sorry, not table, employees. I keep
Cause like before inserting the values, you are specifying it.
right. You see, it inserted the values. That's because I specified the column order in which I am sending the data, right? I am giving das as value 1, then I am sending the employee ID, and then I am sending employee age. So it knows insert das into this column, ename, insert 2 into employee ID, insert 24 into employee age, right? This is one more way to write when you don't know the column order, right? Clear on this?
Yeah.
Parikshit, you had some questions. Are you clear on this?
No, I have not question. Yes, I'm clear.
You are good on this, right? And Ali, you're also
Yes,
clear on
yeah.
this?
Yeah, I am clear.
Cool. So this is how you can write insert statements, with values. And okay, so this was on the insert part. Let's insert few more values, right? And this time Kartavya will tell me the syntax. Kartavya, what is the syntax of insert into?
Uh, Insert into table name,
Right, and then
values.
okay, so you want to specify in this order or any different order?
Uh, Anything is okay.
Okay, let's
The
do
only
like
these
this.
two orders, right?
We can have like this
We
also.
can we
EH
can have okay. E age, e name, employee ID,
ID.
and the
No,
values are 20.
wait.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, give me the values.
28.
28.
Kavya. 194. Employee ID 194.
Employee ID is 194. Okay,
194.
so let's insert this value also. Let's do a select star and see.
And I have one more doubt here. Actually, after values, we need to give semicolon, right? So then only the query will be executed, right?
No. Semicolons is required when you execute multiple queries. So
Okay.
in a stored procedure, when you have multiple queries
But,
one by one, you need to give semicolons. But when you are
but
writing individual query, yeah, tell me.
you're executing the query without a semicolon.
That's fine. When you execute single queries, doesn't matter if you have semicolon or not, it will execute.
Okay.
When you execute multiple queries, if the first query is not terminated by a semicolon, it will throw an error like the query is not terminated.
Okay.
Okay. So semicolons are necessary when you have multiple queries and you are running all these queries at single go. But when you're running individually, you can just write without semicolon and execute.
Oh.
Okay, so now we have employees table. We did a select star and we saw this many data. Right now, let's move on to the update part. So we saw DML insert. Now let's see DML update. So before I do any updates, I want to add one more column to this table, salary column. Can somebody tell me the syntax to add a salary column to this particular employee table?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, please tell me.
Alter
Okay,
table, that is employee,
okay.
add
Mm-hmm.
salary, and data type would be the begin.
Cool. So now we have this salary in this table, right? So salary is null. Now I want to assign salaries to everyone, all the employees, right? Salary cannot be null, right? They cannot work for free, right? So now we will look for DDL update statement. Okay. So the syntax is like this: update table name, right? And what do you want to update? We want to update salary column,
Salary.
right? Set
Salary.
salary equal to 10,000,
Okay.
right? Let's see what happens. Right. So I ran this command, update employee, set salary equal to 1,000, which means I'm setting salary equal to 10,000 for all the records in this employee table. Let's see if it worked or not. You see, every salary got 10,000, right? Clear on this? So this is update all records in a table, right? When you don't give any filter criteria, everything gets updated, right? So clear on this update statement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now Paul is not happy with this salary. He wants the salary to be 20,000, right? He is not happy with 10,000 salary. He wants a salary raise. Let's update his salary. Update salary for a specific employee, right? Let's see this how it works. Update employees, set salary equal to 20,000. So if I run this command, it will update the salary for all the employees to 20,000, but I want it only for Paul, right? So what should be the criteria here?
Where condition we can use.
Where
Where ename is called Paul, I think.
ename equal to
Paul.
Paul, right? So let's run and see what happens. So we ran that. Let's do a select star again. So Paul's salary got updated. So now Paul is very happy. I'm very happy. My salary increased. So, right. So this is how we write update statements. Right. So now I forgot to add the gender column in this table. Right. How do I add a gender column? Help me add a gender column in this table.
Alter table. Employees.
Employees.
Add gender. Varchar.
Char.
Char. Oh,
Char
char.
6. Right. Fine. So now we have 3 employees, right? Let's. Where is the select statement? Let me run this. Now we want to add the genders for these employees. So I want the gender to be M for Paul and Das, and F for Kavya. Right? Can you tell me the update statements to update this gender column?
Update employees. Set
Right.
age,
Update
and
table, I think.
gender.
Update
Update
employee,
employees set gender.
set gender.
Gender equal to
Hmm? Gender
equal to F,
F,
where E name equal to Kavya.
right?
Comma, you can add multiple columns also, right?
How do we do that?
Mhm.
Right, comma, then
E name equal to call. I
Insert a
don't know
name.
whether
Like we
it
just
is
need to
correct
write
or
down
not.
the
I
name.
don't know. E name equal to Paul.
not it will
No,
not.
no, not like that. Yeah,
And
correct.
you can use
You're right.
and
Or
Okay.
No. Actually, this is a female, right? We cannot add one more column. I think so.
Right. So in this way you cannot add. So let's
Yeah.
just run it and see what happens. Right. When we do a so I start from table, not employees. So,
Hello.
so only Kavya's gender got updated to F. Everything else is M. So let's quickly update other guys' gender. So I will use the in clause wherein you can give multiple entries. Right. I'll tell you in detail what is in clause later, how to use it. For the other guys who are not Kavya, I'll just execute this. Now let's see. So in clause you can give multiple names. So if you know there are two names Paul and Das and you want to update gender for them as them, so you can just give where ename in Paul and Das. So when you give where name equal to, you can give only one specific value, right? And when you have multiple values to update, you can use the in clause. So whatever values you give in clause for that particular column, if this column contains Paul and Das, which is these two columns, it will update for them, right? Got it?
Yeah,
Yes.
got it.
So now interview question, right? One
Okay.
very common question in interview is like, I have an employee table. I have the gender as, gender is M or F. Update the gender to male when M, else female when F. So you got the question. You see the gender is male, M, and F. You have to make it male, and female. That is a question. And you cannot write multiple queries to do it. You have to do it in a single query, right? Because you can do it in multiple queries like this. You can just write update employees set gender equal to M, male where gender equal to M, right? So I will show you how we do it now. How we can update employees set, not salary, sorry, set gender equal to male where gender equal to M, right? This will work, right? This will change M to
correct.
male. And similarly, if we write one more command, right? So we can set it to female when gender is F, right? So if I run these two commands, it will update. But the interviewer will say, I don't want two commands. I want you to update in single command, right? Interview way, right? So any thoughts how we can do it in a single command?
No.
No.
Okay, so we will just use a case statement here. Let's try, right? Upgrade employees. Set gender equal to what it was, case when gender equal to m, then male, else female, and right. Oh, it worked. Let's see. Now let's select from this table and see if it really worked. Did it work? It worked, right?
Yes.
So this is what we call as conditional statements. Like we are using a case statement. So when you get across this interview question, like change all M to male and F to female, we can just use a case statement and we can specify. So till this point, it is same, right? So after that, what you did, you updated when gender is M, you made it male. And in the second line, when gender is F, you made it female, right? I just used these two where clause in this case statement. What I said, update employees, set gender equal to, right? And then in a case statement, when gender is M, make it male, else make it female, right? And end the case statement. So in this statement with one line, you can update. And this is what interviewer will look for. He will say you cannot write two statements, write it in one statement, then you need to go for this particular command. Right, clear on this?
Okay.
Yeah.
In case like suppose I face like I am having a multiple scenario, so we can use the multiple cases in that in case if you want to.
Yes. So syntax for case, let me say you. Syntax for case. So it's like case when condition 1, then value 1, right? When condition 2, then value 2, when condition 3, then value 3, and this continues on until you have multiple conditions. Last condition will be else value and after else you have to do an end, right? This is how case works. So here we had only case one when and one else, but if you have like male, female, and other gender, you can make it like that. So case when gender equal to M, then male, right? You can make it when gender equal to F, then female, else you can write other, right? Got it?
Okay.
So this is case statement. Now we have nested case also. How it works, you have this case when, right? Case when condition, then instead of value, you can have one more case statement. Case condition value, else value end, right? So case when condition 1 is 2, then you have one more case to check another value and you have to end that. So every time you have a case, you need to make sure you have an end to close this case, right? So otherwise it will throw error. So this goes like this, then you have case, one more case. For this case and condition, you have a value, you have a else condition for this case, and then you end this case So till this point, it's the when condition for this case, and then you have the else part, and then you end this case. Since you have two case keywords there, you have to make sure there are two ends also. This is how the case statement works, right? And you can use this in order by, you can use this in update statements that I just showed you, and you can use it in select statements, right? We will see all of this. Clear on update statements?
Yes, yes.
So Parikshit
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Kartika, everyone clear? So let's
Yes.
move on to the last DML statement, which is delete. All right. So before deleting, I want to take a backup of this table. Select star into employee backup from employees. Did it work? Okay, fine. So what I did here, did you notice? I created a backup table from employees
From
table,
employees. Yeah.
right? So basically I copied a table and created a new table, right? So select star into employee backup. This is the new table, and from employees table. So basically it will take all the columns which is existing in employee table, and it will replicate the table along with its data, right? Clear on this part?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is for MySQL. So sorry, SQL Server. This is one way to copy table in SQL. Create it. Basically, we are creating a table from a different table. So we do this in SQL Server. Copy it. So for Oracle, the syntax is different. You can write like, create table employee backup as select star from employees, right? So this will be exactly same as what we did above. We are selecting all the records from employee tables and creating a table name employee backup. Okay, so both this commands does the same thing, just that different database servers, different syntax, right? Intention is same for both of them, right? Clear on this? How do we take a backup of a table?
Yes.
Yes, clear.
Sisinto, I have a doubt.
Mhm.
If you created a duplicate table in same database, or we can create another database also.
We can create a different database also. So in that case, you will have to specify the DB name here, database dot table name,
Okay.
right? So this is the thing. So, and there can be requirement, where just create the table without without any data, right? Just you want a table structure to be created. So then you can write create. So okay, I will not type now. It says 10 minutes meeting will be over, it says. So you just say create table employee backup as select star from employees where 1 equal to 2, right? When you say 1 equal to 2, this condition is always false, right? 1 equal to true is never true. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Always false. So this is used to create tables with the same structure without any data, right? So that is why we use this, right? So let's say I create table employee table backup, right? And I'll copy this, and I will see select star into employee table backup 1 from employees where 1 equal to 2. So let's run this and see what happens.
This means you just need to create a table, however, not a record.
Right. This means I just want to create a table with similar structure of employees table, but I don't want the data, right? Like in employee backup, I got the data also from employees table, right? This is the data. Now I
Okay.
created employee backup 1 with the condition where 1 equal to 2. Let's see what is the content of this table, right? So you see there is no data. We have all the columns, employee ID, age, salary, gender, but no data, right? So to create an empty table with the same structure of a existing table, always add the condition where 1 equal to 2. And if you want to create a table with the data of the table, remove this where 1 equal to 2 condition, it will create it for you, right? Clear on this?
Yes, clear.
Now let's move on to the delete part. So syntax is delete from table name. So in this case, we will use employee BKP, right? We have a backup table. Let's delete this table, right? We executed. Let's see what is data in backup table now. No records. So it is similar to Truncate, right? In Truncate also we will see no records, right? So this is similar to Truncate table, right? But the Truncate is faster because, as I said, it drops and creates the table. Now let's take a backup again from employee table, this time with records. So I'll just say employee table backup 2. No, sorry, this is employee backup 2 from employees. And now let's delete some specific records. So select star from employee backup 2. So I want to delete, the employees who are less than 25 years of age, right? What will be the command? Any guesses? I want to delete
Where
all the employees who are less than 25 years of age.
where
New
column
condition.
name
Where?
less than 20
Which column name?
Where
EH
EH.
EH
Okay.
less than
Mm-hmm.
25.
25. Good. So let's run this. Okay. So let's see employee backup 2. We only have Kavya, right? So it worked. So this is the difference between delete and truncate. So when you don't specify any particular where condition, it deletes all the records. And in that case, it is similar to truncate, right? And then why truncate is faster because it drops and creates a table, and delete will delete one record individually one by one. So since this table had only 3 records, it was very fast. But if the table has millions of records and you want to delete all the data, truncate is the best option for us to do that, right? And if you want to delete specific records, you want to say where age less than 25. Now I lost 2 employee data. I don't want to, delete that. I mistakenly delete. What do? I do a rollback, right?
Rollback table name.
Rollback table name. Okay. Let's try only rollback if this works or not. Okay. Sorry. We did not mention the transaction control. We have to mention begin transaction and close transactions to rollback and commit to work. So we do that in stored procedures. So I will show you a demo on that later. Okay, but basic thing you understood, right? So you deleted 2 employees with age less than 25, and then you realized, oh, I don't want to delete this. So you can just do a rollback. It will again insert the values into the table. It will look like there was nothing happened, no deletion happened. So it will be as it is. So clear on this part?
Yeah.
So this covers, our data manipulation language. Third one, data query language, very important. We will look into this a lot. So now we have the employee table, right? Let's see where I can go. So I have 3 minutes left. Let's try to do this. DQL, right? Data query language. Only one command here, select. Syntax is select star from table. So in this case, we will use employees. And this one we use when you want to select all columns from the table, right? So you just do select star from tables. You get all columns. Now, if you want to select some specific columns, what do? We specify the column names. Like I want the employee ID. I want employee name from employee table. So I run this. I got only 2 names, right? So select works like this. Either you can select all the data from the employees tables, or you can select specific fields from the employees table, right? And then you can select specific records also by using filter conditions. Select like employee ID and employee, let's say a name from employees where salary is more than 10,000, right? Who has more salary than?
All.
Yes. So I have more salary. So my name should come up, right? So this is on the select statement. So this was on, DDL, DML, DQL, 3 important topics. Transaction control language, TCL commands, it can only be used with DML commands, which we discussed, which can be insert, delete, and update, right? The commands here are commit, rollback. So it's like delete from customers where age equal to 25. And if you really want to delete to work, you do a commit. If not, you do a rollback, right? And the last is data control language, which are mostly used by DBS. So they have the permission to, grant select access or update access on any of the table to some of the users. This is mostly done by DBS. And we don't, as a developer, we don't deal with this kind of statements. So the grant syntax is kind of very clear. Grant select, which is a DQL statement, update, which is a DML command on this table to some of the users. So the users with this permission can only select data from that table and do updates on that table. He cannot insert or he cannot delete because he only have select and update permission. Clear on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Fine. So we will stop here today.